Let's hear it from our next speaker, Mr. Sameer Dhanrajani. Mr. Dhanrajani is the Chief Executive Officer at AI Curate, a bespoke global AI advisory and consulting firm, and President 3AI, India's largest platform for AI and analytics, leaders and professionals. Previously, Mr. Sameer has worked as Chief Strategy Officer, Fractal Analytics Global Business Leader at Cognizant, and Country Head at Fidelity National Financial. He is a best-selling author, well-recognized keynote speaker, and speaker at several global industry forums and conferences. He has also been featured in numerous news publications and has received multiple industry awards and accolades, and is considered to be an influential voice in the AI and analytics industry. Mr. Sameer will share his thoughts on reimagined decision-making with AI, the unknown yet the biggest one. So we now invite you to deliver your talk.
Hi, everyone. Human beings are predictably irrational. And this is not what I'm saying. Dan Ariely, in his book, Predictably Irrational, came out with this statement. And there is a reason behind that. As human, we take close to about 60-odd decisions on any given day. Strategic, operational, tactical. What's my plan after this talk? What is that I'm going to do with my career? What's my relationship status going to be? Now, some of these decisions on the personal and enterprise side, we are taking on a daily basis. Over the past few years, we've been taking decisions through our intuition, gut, influenced by our friends, maybe spouses. With the algorithms coming in, the decision-making has changed. It's becoming quite significant even for smaller decisions. Let's look at how. I want to start with a story. This is a real life story. This is a story of a gentleman called Makoto, the young looking guy who's at the back of the picture standing with his parents. Makoto is born and bred up in Japan, and he finished his engineering. That's the time this particular picture was taken. His parents are farmers in Japan. Farming is still considered to be a very revered, sought after occupation in Japan, and they grow cucumbers. Cucumbers, again, is a very exotic variety, sorted by about 9 variables by text, color, shape, and other kind of categories. Makoto was very happy visiting his parents. And during one of the conversations with his parents, he got to know that their income over the years from growing cucumbers have come down. And he got concerned. He spoke to his mom and she said, yes. Makoto had done a bit of AI in his engineering days. And this is where he felt this is the best time to put this engineering to use case and maybe a bit of AI over there. He went back to his home, picked up his iPhone, clicked about 3,000 odd pictures of the cucumber farm, went back at his home, downloaded a Raspberry Pi 3 processor, which is available on Amazon for $35. He also downloaded an open source tool called Google TensorFlow, which is freely available. Then he started making annotations and labeling just to identify what is the right labeling and annotation in terms of the right mix of algorithm he can derive by just extrapolating the auction prices versus the cucumber his parents were growing. Few attempts later, he reached about 30%. He was not fine. He reached about 70% after a few iterations. He said it's good to go. He told his parents what exact variety of cucumber they should be growing. 18 months down the line, his parents' income have went up by 400%. And the cost associated of using AI was just $35, which was the Raspberry Pi 3 processor. Now, coming back to the corporate side, the enterprise side, a lot has gone in the last couple of years in terms of this pandemic-led global business conundrum, I say. Innovation, transformation, optimization at scale has become a reality. Then, if that's not enough, CEOs are facing unprecedented challenges. For the first time ever during pandemic, the challenges around cybersecurity threats, growing customer expectation, also in terms of finding capital and keeping themselves solvent, has never been seen before. If that's not enough, We are talking about an era which is where what we call data deluge. I mean, this is how the paraphrasing go up. I am data rich, information poor, insight starved. Can you help solve my problem? Now, 1 zettabyte of data, the world will produce 44 zettabyte of data last year, and the world will also produce 185 zettabytes of data by 2025. What's 1 zettabyte of data? Just to give you an idea, 1 zettabyte of data is equivalent to all the video titles of Netflix put together, multiplied by 370 million times. And if that's not enough, we're also talking about a social data, digital data, the kind of uploads, downloads we are trying to do on a daily basis, real-time basis across YouTube, Insta, Facebook. That's unprecedented. Now think of a scenario where organizations are sitting on a proprietary data. Can they afford even also to mix proprietary or digital data? And the answer is no. A lot of studies, surveys have shown that there is a direct correlation in terms of artificial intelligence getting enabled and reducing the decision-making latency in the organization. And the fact over there is that decision-making is now directly linked in the corporate with AI. What are the new pillars of enterprise strategy we are talking about? And this is all emerged in terms of what I call the new normal. One, there is a lot of reimagining the customer experience. Customer wants bespoke individual experience, which is compelling organizations to start innovating product and services. And transformation of the business is nothing but ripping apart the value chain of the businesses and replacing that with the new value chain. Look at what fintech has done for banking, insurtech for insurance. And this is where we say just getting the data itself is not enough. Algorithms is where the real value resides. Algorithms are defining intelligence, insights, and recommendation for the end stakeholders and the enterprises. And algorithms are also becoming the secret sauce and key differentiators and competitive advantage for the organization. Now look at some of these new age firms: Google, Facebook, Amazon, Airbnb, Netflix, Pandora. For some of you, these are digital firms, new age firms, exponential technologies-led firm. I call these firms as math houses. So much of algorithms, so much of crunching of data has gone into making these organizations very smart, very, very powerful. And this is where we say we are talking about an emergence of algorithmic economy. The democratization of analytics and AI and data as a service will lead to creation of what we call a virtual exchange. Now, this virtual exchange is just akin to a stock exchange. Think of this: you got a problem in your office, a supply chain problem, a marketing problem, a sales problem. You're not able to find a solution. You go to this virtual exchange, which has tons of algorithms created by niche boutique large firms. You have a marketing optimization problem. You go into this particular exchange, punch in your user ID password. What you get to know immediately are tons of marketing optimization algorithms. You try to do a POC, a quick demo, you like it, you buy it, and turn that particular algorithm in your premise, in your office. It works well. You buy new versions of that. Now, this is where millions of algorithms in the time to come will start creating magic for the organizations. And what it will do is to kind of ensure that the decision makings are being done in the organizations or personal side on a real-time basis by algorithms. And this is where we're talking about even algorithms occupying the boardroom seats. And that's a reality today, which is happening. There is also analytical paradox, what we say. And this is best summed up in a way that those who make the fewest decisions have the most information, and those with the most decisions have the least information. And that's true, very, very true in the corporate scenario. And this is where the whole aspect of what we are saying today, while many of the decisions of what we are doing on a strategic, tactical, operational basis are based on algorithms, what's happening today, 5 to 10 years from now, majority of the decisions, significant proportion of decisions will be taken by algorithms. If that something starts happening, think of this, how AI will drive decision making at scale and problems will be actually addressed by AI. For that to happen, there is something called what we call augmented intelligence, automate and learn, and incorporating human behavior, which comes in. Let me take one by one what I'm talking about. Augmenting intelligence is all about what we call how do you start looking at data from on non-obvious sources. Think of this particular example. It's not about a Facebook example. It's about any public listed company having an earnings call. Every 3 months, they need to have an earnings call where they need to show results. I've never come across a CEO who's not bullish about the company while giving a narrative about the financials. But the fact there is a lot of money at stake. What can happen in that situation is a lot of hedge funds, stakeholders, shareholders, people who have put in money cannot rely just on the financial commentary. So what comes in is computer vision, a lot of AI where speech recognition, computer vision analyzing the facial expressions are being mapped. Any lump in the throat, any kind of a softness in the voice could be construed that things are not right. Along with if there are any expressions which are not in sync with the buoyancy of the voice, could be construed things are not right. Moving on, in terms of a visual image of a satellite imagery camera, you can see there are cars in the parking lot. Now, a retailer does not here wants to estimate the footfalls. They're trying to analyze the make of the car, the model of the car, the total time the cars have been parked in the parking lot, and extrapolating that with the number of stores and with the same data to see what could be the financial earnings 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now. Let's look at other example.
Baseman. Let's go, let's go. Over here. No, come on. Right. Ready. Good shot. Quick throw. It is. Interception. Oh no. Stepped in front of the throw. Oh my God! He did it!
Now, this is a 20-second clip of a US soccer match. 82% of the US population watched this particular match. $160 billion ad spend happens in the single match. One TV commercial cost about $3.5 to $4 million. So a lot of money at stake. So what's happening when you are advertising on the brand? Can you afford not to see your brand visible? So what's happening? A lot of computer vision analysis in terms of how marketing and data decisions is being analyzed. Look at the same kind of a video clip now with a different version where a lot of labeling and annotation has happened as compared to what was done in the case of Cucumber also, and how the brands are reflecting when there are jersey of the player, turf of the stadium, players gallery in a split second.
Baseman. Let's go, let's go. Over here. No, come on. Right. Ready. Good shot. Quick throw. It is. Interception. Oh no.
This is how the brands are taking decisions on a very instant basis using a lot of AI over there. Moving on, this is an example about AI for humanity. I mean, this is where it's a real life story where we say things come alive and becomes magic. This is a story about Saqib Sheikh. Saqib Sheikh is born and bred up in Pakistan. He's visually impaired from the birth. He cannot see, but he's brilliant in studies. He did his engineering, moved to US. He got a job in Microsoft. After a few months of a job in Microsoft, during one of the coffee conversations with his colleagues at Microsoft said, Saqib, let's make your life magical. Now, one thing about Saqib, which I did not share with you, he's visually impaired. He's blind from the birth. He cannot see. Saqib got miffed. He said, guys, there's nothing magical in my life. I cannot see. Please do not joke around with me. After a few months, they gave Saqib a pair of glasses. You can see what he's wearing out here in the picture. Now, these are not ordinary pair of glasses. The glasses have innate ability to click pictures on the go. Your first reaction would be, what's the meaning of pictures for a blind man? You're right. The pictures are getting translated into voice, and this is what Saqib is able to hair on a real-time basis when he's pressing on a left index finger with his stem on the glasses. Sakib, 10 to 15 meters ahead of you, there is probably a 15 to 16-year-old kid wearing a navy blue jersey, beige trouser, black sneakers on a skateboard. Would you like to meet him? Imagine the life of Sakib turning magical with AI. On an automation side, a lot of things have been said about displacement. It's about the human-machine alignment, as I say. 7,000 deaths happen in US because of wrong prescription of medicines and drug. Because doctors' handwriting, with all due respect, is illegible in many parts of the globe. You cannot comprehend sometimes, and even the chemist or the pharmacist cannot make what's there. That results into wrong prescription, wrong medicines being given across the counter, deaths happen. A sophisticated arm laced with a lot of algorithmic technique is being deployed in US in many of the stores. You visit this particular store, it's there in California, San Francisco. She'll take the prescription, she'll scan the prescription, the algorithm will start working. In US, as the patient data records are linked, she'll go through the store, picks up the relevant medicine, come back to the store on the front desk, give you the medicine, you can pay by a contactless credit card, move out of the store in flat 50 to 60 seconds. And 99% is the accuracy rate what we're talking about. Now, this particular image, you will see, maybe it's like a Matrix movie. No, it's an HR case study. What's happening out here? A lot of sophisticated cameras are being deployed in an e-commerce retailer where they're trying to understand the fatigue level of the employees. This is not about any kind of infringement or security, which the operation teams are doing. HR managers are sitting, looking at the fatigue levels, which is what you can make out through the facial expression. And at some point of time, given it's a 24/7, high octane kind of, let's say, environment, if the fatigue is high, they just go on the floor, pause the production, give a pat on the back award. Imagine a scenario where most of the spot awards, pat on the back awards, are being given on a ad hoc basis. This gets changed in terms of HR taking faster decision making. Something which we've always missed about what I call where rules and regulations don't work. Nudges happen. AI alone will not solve the problem. It's not about just looking at the small or the significant ones. It's also about how the adoption will happen. Look at this particular toothbrush. I mean, toothbrush today are coming with fitted with sensors, not a big deal. But what's happening when you take this toothbrush, which is Oral-B, you download an app. The app actually starts working the minute the kid or the adult starts toothbrushing. I mean, the whole thing over there is an idle toothbrushing time is 2 minutes. Anything less than that, the emoji turns kind of in a screeching voice and it gives a very kind of a frowning look. And today we know that a lot of our life depends on emoticons and emojis. You see the whole emoji, you don't feel happy, you brush it again. More than 2 minutes, you can see the contours, it's fine. I mean, there is a happy jingle, you go back and start working. And that's where how analytics and also what we call human behavior nudges starts working across. Now, this particular ice cream manufacturer start doing everything to increase the scale. Nothing happened in terms of increasing the quantum of sale. They started giving loyalty coupons, discounts, analytics, nothing happened. They deployed an AI professional with a cognitive neuroscience person. And this is what happened. A jingle was played in that particular part of the store where ice creams were kept. Think of our life in our formative years where we have seen how a jingle gets kind of in a compelling mode for us when an ice cream kiosk person comes in and gives me, I would say, ice cream. And that's where people were drawn. And within a quarter, 15% of the sales uplift happened, but just playing this particular jingle. Let's look at this particular video clip. as we say, eventually AI alone is not enough. If the art of decision making needs to be enjoyed on a personal level or at a corporate level, it's an amalgamation or what I call a trifecta of AI, engineering, and design. And this is what will actually sift out in terms of how significant, trivial, or kind of, let's say, large decision we take. Thank you so much.